All right, here we go, y'all. Here we go. It's 8 o'clock on the month. Oh, damn. Hold on. This is what happens when you're live. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Let's see if we can do this then. Every time, it's always something different. You know, as soon as I think I got the stuff squared away, when I tell you it's always a thing, honey, it's a thing.
Yo, you are tuned into the G Spot Presents every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Our gathering place where we support artistry, free thought, love, and some aspects of social responsibility. And we're live. Yo, you.
Why does it always do that? And we live, y'all.
We live.
What's up, y'all? It's G.
How you doing? I'm Chris Conley.
And today we talking basketball, baby. It's 2021 NBA playoffs.
Oh yeah.
So we got Victor Chukwudebe here with us, joining us, who has some experience in the sport. And so we're going to pick his brain, learn about the league a little bit, and some of his experiences as a player. And then, of course, we got questions about this season. So we're going to get into that in just a second. But Vic, thank you for being here.
No, thank you all for having me. Definitely an honor. So let's get into it.
Let's get it, baby. All right. So your experience has been in a couple of different arenas, but you started off NCAA. So you played college. What college did you play for?
Attended University of Illinois, Fighting Illini, Champaign-Urbana, orange and blue. Okay. For the other Illini out there, because we're everywhere, ILLINI.
Yeah.
Way everywhere. So started off there, played under Lon Kruger.
Okay. That's Big Ten?
Yeah, Big Ten. Mm-hmm. Yeah, banging and grinding all night.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, good.
What year was this?
Yeah.
97 to 2000.
97 to 2000.
Yeah, 97 to 2000. So let me see, University of Wisconsin, I'm sure you all kept up with them. From everywhere from Paul Grant to the Mark Verschaws, and I was right after Sam Oakey.
Yeah.
I think that was.
Yeah, Sam Oakey. Okay.
I think we actually got a picture of you when y'all played the Badgers, and I think y'all won that game.
That was me.
Okay.
That was me. A lot thinner, but that was me.
Nice.
Yeah. Come on, y'all won that game?
I'm sure we did. I'm sure
y'all won by 5 points, Vic. Y'all won by 5.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you did your research. I mean, Wisconsin was a tough place to play.
Yeah.
But we understood, if we could get up and down that floor, we increased our chances of winning because, y'all had some hefty, some corn-fed boys, but we knew we could outrun them.
Yeah.
So what were some of the colleges that you were looking at when you were leaving high school? I'm sure you had options.
Man. Well, my story was kind of funny. I actually committed in 7th grade. Lou Henson came, recruited me, gave a verbal commitment in 7th grade. We had an awesome middle school team, 48-0, 2 years. I'm definitely not bragging, but, we were dunking and everything else, and he just made the offer, and I kind of committed on the spot. I knew I wanted to be a role model for other students, in the state of Illinois, so I chose to stay home. But I had a chance to go to, Texas A&M. Michigan State was actually my very first call with Tom Izzo at 12:01. Yeah. But at that time, it was guard-oriented. I thought, definitely would adopt a lot of Judd Heathcote's, coaching strategies, and I just wasn't a fan of that at the time. So I kind of passed on that and decided to stay at home.
Was it because it was too fast, or what? Because you got what's your position?
My position in college, I played power forward center.
Yeah, so
I was only 6'7", I'm 6'7" in college, 6'9" now, but everything was guard oriented, with Sean Resperts and Eric Snow, and I was just like, I wasn't, that wasn't for me. But had I known, I definitely would have rethought that.
Yeah. Now I was gonna say the big man game wasn't. It was still important, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. And it's funny because I was going back to seem like even the big men are guards,
Yeah. Back then, it was just like, here, come here, set screens, rebound.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do. But I just wasn't a fan of that at the time. I was like,
I
can do that.
Now they're bringing the ball up.
Yeah, you know, I can do that in state. So I decided to stay home.
Okay.
So when you did your 4 years, I think y'all got, was it 99? Y'all went to the playoffs against Michigan. Am I correct about that?
Well, 3 out of our 4 years, we attended the NCAA tournament. And we got eliminated my freshman year, UT, University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. 1 year we got eliminated by Maryland. And then my senior year, we got eliminated by the very powerful Florida team with Giannis Haslam, Mike Miller, Teddy Dupay.
That was stacked.
Gentleman Harvey. Yeah, they were stacked. And I think they ended up losing the championship to Michigan State that year.
Oh, okay. That's what I had read. Okay.
Did you ever think about, man, what if I just went to Michigan State? I probably would have been there.
You know, I think about it, but I try, you know, you learn to live with regrets, man, you know, and I figured maybe it may have been something different. Maybe it wasn't in the cards for me.
Yeah.
You know, so I never really try to, you know, overthink things, and I kind of like, you know, kind of take things as they come. But, you know, it could have probably been a whole different career. Who knows?
Did you ever think, you know, when they came to scout you in 7th grade, did you ever think that you would make it that far though, so far as organized basketball at school with, you know? No,
that's a great question, man. First time I picked up a basketball was 5th grade. I had no clue what I was doing, but I did have a coach, you know, God bless his soul, Dexter Young. You know, he just told me, he's like, look, this basketball, this round ball will take you places that you've never been. It'll open quite a few doors, and he was right. You know, I just committed to it anywhere from 6 to 8 hours a day. Back then I knew I had to treat it like a job. Yeah. So 6 to 8 hours a day, I would work on my craft. 7th grade, things started paying off. I had so many doubters. I was just like, you know, I have to make it. You know, I have to make it. So many people told me I couldn't do it. Kind of sprouted up, very unorthodox, not coordinated. I was lanky, tripping over my own feet. So many people said I couldn't make it. So I was like, yeah, that's more of a reason for me to get out there and try to prove them wrong.
So you weren't always this tall. Did you kind of sprout up like freshman year? When did that happen? I know you said.
No, that happened between. I'm sorry.
No. You said you were 6'7" in college, and now you're 6'9". Yeah.
Yeah, that happened between my 5th and 6th grade year. I picked up about 6 inches between my 5th and 6th grade year. I came back dunking in the 6th grade. There was a game in the summer of my 7th grade year that I broke a backboard, and I think summer going into my 7th grade year when I broke a backboard, and I think that's what got everybody's attention. Oh, you know, just raw athleticism, and then from there, you know, I got with some coaches that talked to me about, you know, that talked to me about sharpening on my skills, and you know, I listened because I had no one else to listen to. I didn't know how to do it, you know, so I just listened to them, and fortunately, they led me in the right direction.
So what kind? You say you worked out for 6 to 7 hours a day as a 7th grader?
Oh yeah. Well, actually,
what kind of things did you do? What was your regimen like?
I grabbed a bag of oatmeal, a box of oatmeal cream pies, and a jug of water, and I went out and I played. You know, depending on level of competition, sometimes I say, hey, this game I'm gonna work on bringing the ball up. This game I'm gonna work on posting up. This game I'm not gonna do anything but shoot outside jumpers. So it's kind of some things that I heard some OGs talk about. So I was listening, you know, to kind of some things. I never really had anyone coaching me, you know, before the 7th grade. So just kind of did some things that I heard about.
Now, Vic, did you feel forced to play basketball because of your height or because of your physique?
No, not at all. No, I mean, this physique just came here, you know, after the fact. So my high school year, my senior year, I graduated weighing about 180 pounds. So I always didn't have this, you know, bulk on me. But they put on 40 pounds in a matter of 3 to 4 months. Once I committed to university, between my senior year of high school and college, I put on 30 to 40 pounds.
So that was intentional.
So no, there was never any pressure. My father, as a matter of fact, he was a professional soccer player, and he, you know, don't take the academics for granted. And it was something that I kind of had to sneak and play ball. My mom, you know, kind of lied for me while I was practicing. You know, until we won the state tournament, my name was in the paper. And with a name like Victor Chukwudebe, you know, there's only one in the city. And I just remember having those, I don't want to say arguments, but those discussions with my dad where he tried to discourage me from playing. But I knew it was something that I love, I want to do.
Fast forward, senior year, making decisions, what you want to do with yourself. You know, you have this talent, you have this skill, you've played with some of, you know, the greatest what was your thinking? Because I'm not sure how it works, but do you try out? Did you enter the draft? How does that all work? And what was that like?
You mean after my senior year of high school, or my senior year of college?
Your year of college, excuse me.
No, I wasn't fortunate enough to get selected. Well, let me take that back. I was invited to a tryout, but I knew I wasn't ready, just because of the injuries that I sustained throughout my collegiate career, especially my senior year. I kind of went to a few tryouts, but I wasn't 100%. So I knew the overseas route would be my route. Hopefully go over there, make some money, get my body back to 100%, and then try to pursue the NBA route. So that just never happened for me. So I don't think people understand how fortunate you have to be to make it. Yeah. You're talking about only 320 jobs out of the millions of people that are trying to make it.
Yeah. And there's millions of talented players. So obviously.
Oh, quite a few. Oh, yeah.
So what kind of injuries, what injuries were you suffering in college? And do you think it came from high school? Were you playing? What was going on?
Well, a very severe car accident, some herniated discs, about 4 broken ankles, twice, 2 broken ankles, 2 breaks to each ankle, broken tailbone, broken pinky. I mean, just the wear and tear playing basketball, especially playing the center position undersized. I was 6'7", having a guard, 6'11", 7-footers. And when I was in college, that's when you really started hearing about the stretch fours, or you started, for some reason, University of Illinois just couldn't get a 7-footer. So they were getting quite a few 6'9", 6'10", 6'11" gentlemen that chose to shoot the ball from outside. So they're like, yeah, you're going to be inside, man. You're one of the toughest players we have. So there you have it. So that wear and tear, man, just does something to you.
Yeah.
So how many teams did you play for overseas, and who was the first that you signed to?
Yeah, I played 5 different teams. The first I signed was Brazil. I played in Brazil. I played for I forgot the name of the team. Brazil. Fluminense. I'm sorry. Yeah, there was a club sport called Fluminense. I played in Rio de Janeiro. I thought it was going to be the best time of my life, but it's not like what you see on TV. Extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. They told you don't leave the apartments after 4 o'clock. Beautiful place.
I hear you can't even walk around down there without without like a like they have people who hold your money for you or something.
No, I just didn't carry any money. I took exactly what I knew I was going to spend that night.
Yeah, I know when people go on vacations and stuff down there, they advise that because kidnapping and things like that is so.
Oh yeah. So what they do is they suggest you hire armed security.
Yeah.
That's the first time I saw the military operate, patrolling the streets versus officers. It was extremely dangerous. After 8 or 9 months, I said, yeah, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
So I went from there to Saskatchewan, Canada, from Canada to Belgium, Brussels, Belgium, from Belgium to Melbourne, Australia, and then I ended my career in Fürstenfeld, Austria.
I didn't realize Canada had a league. Yeah,
you find them all.
Yeah, they do. They have the Canadian Basketball League. It's probably bigger now than it was then.
Yeah, it is.
It was definitely a great alternative after the Brazilian experience.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was your favorite team to play for?
That's a great question. If you're looking from the money aspect, monetarily, financially, it was Brazil. I would say as far as scenery, feeling like home, definitely Saskatchewan, Canada, played for the Saskatchewan Hawks. Austria, since that was my last job, I think I was getting a better understanding of who I was. But that's when I knew I was like, yeah, this is gonna be it. What's after this? And that's when I started transitioning into education.
Yeah. So when we talk about young boys going to play in the NCAA and billion-dollar market, of course, and of course when you're entering on the scene, the conversation of whether students should be played or paid students or not, it wasn't as huge as it is now. And with the passing that they got in California, is now that they're gonna start doing that. What do you think about that? How does it feel to? You might say, man, I wish it was happening when I was there.
You need your back pay.
You know what I'm saying? Hey.
I mean, that's tough. That's tough, and I can see it from both aspects, to be honest with you, because I feel like there should be some type of compensation, but then, we're only talking about the top 5 conferences that really, may see a profit. So what happens to mid majors? What happens to the lower D1s?
Yeah.
I feel like the top 5 conferences is always going to have an advantage. In my opinion, the best solution is maybe.
Sorry about that, Vic.
No, it's all right. In my opinion, probably the best solution is maybe some type of account, and base it on the academic progress. Maybe every semester put a certain amount of money in the account until you decide to leave.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're necessarily broke, but at the same time, you're not getting rich off of it too. But there's still an incentive to stay in college.
Or the organization isn't taking advantage of, students who think of it like you just said, that the large amount of students who never make it to the pros, or
Right.
who may not even make it throughout the entire college career. They may change their mind. Things happen. So it's just important to me that players are compensated for all the work that they put into, because that takes a lot of dedication to play even on that level.
Yeah, it really does. But at the same time, from the university aspect, now that I'm out of that scene, I think about it, that scholarship has to mean something. The 5-star hotels we stayed in have to mean something. The steak and chicken dinners, the unlimited access to food at the varsity table, the insurance, the books, the rent, the unlimited shoes, and equipment. So from one aspect of it, you say whether you're the 16th player or the starting 5, you had access to the same things. But I wouldn't mind seeing some type of account set up for the young students, and based on the grades, a certain amount deposited that they can't touch, or maybe have access to a percentage of it until they graduate or until they decide to leave.
Yeah. Because these schools are making millions and millions of dollars off your blood, sweat, and tears, and God forbid you get injured and can't go on to be successful.
Or even jersey sales, people come back to buy retro jerseys all the time.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not disagreeing with you all. I just feel like there has to be some kind of compromise.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the students to undervalue the importance of a scholarship.
Yeah.
But I also don't want the university to undervalue the labor, the capital that they have, these young athletes.
Yeah, and what they actually, just to kind of play devil's advocate, I guess, but the resources that they put into the students, if this becomes a widespread thing, then maybe you see the end of collegiate or athletic scholarships. Since this money's going to be made on the back end or the front end,
right.
Why am I helping you out?
Right. Or another option, I hate to bring it up, maybe you can split a portion of the revenue. But what if the university say, okay, now everything we're paying for, you all are responsible for?
Yeah.
The insurance,
exactly.
The rent, the books, the travel. We stayed in some of the best hotels. I've gotten a chance to see places that I know I wouldn't have seen in my age had it not been for the round ball. So,
yeah.
No complaints out of me, but I definitely understand why student athletes would want to get paid. But ultimately, we're talking about maybe the top 5% of athletes that are really pushing for this, because only about 5% of the athletes nationwide really generate all the revenue people are paying to see.
Very true. That's a good analogy. Yeah.
So having played overseas and your knowledge of the NBA and even trying out and having friends of yours who've gone into the league, what are some of the similarities and what are some of the differences between the two?
I'll say the similarities, no matter where you're playing, you're still giving it 100%. You're still the exposure to injuries is still the same. I guess the ability to have one good game to kind of project your career, so those opportunities out there. As far as differences, there's a story I'll tell. When I first made it to Brazil, come on now, at University of Illinois, we had everything laid out for us. We had equipment managers. They would have our stuff, laid out for us with our jerseys, our shoes, people to tape our ankles. When I got to Brazil, I just remember all the players getting on the court for the first time for practice, and I'm sitting around. And I'm like, man, where are the trainers? Who's going to take my ankles? Where's our practice gear? And I just remember our coach saying to me, like, listen, man, this is not D1.
You got spoiled.
You're gonna have to get it from mud, like you all are spoiled.
Yeah.
That was a rude awakening for me.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one of the differences. We rarely flew. It would be a lot of van rides, with the equipment manager being the chauffeur. If you wanted shoes, hopefully your family could mail them to you. I remember East Bay not coming to Brazil when I was playing.
East Bay used to
be the thing. East Bay wasn't coming to Brazil, so I would ask my sister to order stuff, and I would ask her to ship it. So a few weeks later, I finally get it. But I was like, look, just send me 5 pairs because I just never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when I didn't even realize the extent of how tennis shoes were that important until Zion.
Man. Oh yeah. I'm telling you.
Zion blowing out shoes and stuff. Man.
What size shoes do you wear at 6'9"?
I wear size 15.
Oh my God.
I wear size 15. So yeah, they weren't, they weren't easy to find, but East Bay, I would tell them, don't worry about the price, don't worry about the brand, just send them. Because in Brazil, that stuff didn't matter. Like Jordans didn't matter. Scottie Pippins and stuff, that didn't matter. You just wanted some new gym. Because sometimes the gym that you were practicing in, there'd be dirt on the floor. You just want to stay safe. So it definitely humbled me a lot.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads into the next question. What do you think one of your biggest lessons was as a player in general? Whether it be playing overseas, your college.
I would say the biggest lesson, just thinking about it now, is appreciate the opportunity, because a lot of these players have never had real jobs. So when I hear players complaining about, this is not enough money, or, you hear about players in the NBA, like, man, they treat us like slaves. I'm like, nah, you really don't understand what that really means. I've been fortunate to probably work every type of job under the sun. Being a Nigerian native, my father knew how to work.
Yeah.
So, man, from construction to a caregiver, like I told people, I don't want to curse on here, but man, I've had to wipe grown people's butts for a living. So, once you do that, you look back at your basketball career, you say, you know what, hey, maybe those practices weren't that bad.
Yeah.
You knew you were getting a check to do something that you love. So I would say definitely take advantage of the opportunity. You don't know how long it's going to last.
Right.
And once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah. So you seem like the kind of person that has, it wasn't just basketball. You may have had or still have other dreams that you want to fulfill. A lot of times people put all their eggs in one basket, and of course they put that dedication there, and they never still reach that particular goal. So how important is it for you to have those dreams? And if you still dream, what are they? What are some of the things you dream of? What do you want to accomplish? What else do you have in the works?
People that know me, they know I'm always dreaming. Okay, so some of my dreams right now, I definitely want to open my own school. Last 13 to 15 years, I've been in education, so I definitely want to open my own school and focus on the young, young Black boys. I feel like just our ethnic image is in the toilet. Sometimes we do feed into those stereotypes. Most of the times I think it's misunderstood, and I think we don't speak for ourselves in general media. So just teaching the young kids, kind of how to conduct themselves, and hopefully change that stereotype one person at a time. So
right.
I think education is key. So that's my biggest dream. I'm on the verge of publishing a few books. Just being able to take care of generations from now.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So, Vic, you a few years ago predicted that Giannis would be like this big person. You predicted he was like the go-to guy. Yep. So the Bucks ended up getting him. What was it about him that made you think that?
I think I was a little biased. He's originally a native of Nigeria. A lot of people don't know that. Family relocated to Greece, and I just know the work ethic. So I say anyone that has the parents coming from those humble beginnings, they almost can't lose. I think poverty is a little different in a second and third world country than it is here in the States.
A little.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to be humble on here. I don't want anybody to get upset with me, but we definitely understand what it takes, and taking advantage of your opportunities. And I just knew when he came in, I just looked at him. I was like, man, you give him 5 years, he's going to be an MVP. It took a little longer than 5, but I knew it was in the makings. Some of it by attrition. You knew some of the better players at the time, they were going to retire. But I saw the work ethic, I saw the last name, and I said, yeah, he's going to be a star in this league.
Yeah, and he has a lot of faith in himself and his game. You remember the conversation they had in the locker room, that was asking who was the best player on the Bucks, and that's when they still had what's the guy that he went over to Chicago, went to the Bulls, Jabari Parker. That's when he was part of the team still. And Giannis said, Giannis wasn't even starting, and he was like, I'm the best player on this, in the league. I mean, on the team, and they laughed at him.
Right.
And, and now look, like the couple years later, he got the MVP. And started, Bucks took the Bucks to the playoffs and everything. So hopefully, and be going to the finals, this year too. So
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. It's important to believe in yourself first.
So okay, question, Vic, because things have. So a week ago, let's just say 2 weeks ago, were you writing? Okay, so we're looking at the 2021 NBA playoffs. 2 weeks ago, between the Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets, who was your go-to team? Who did you have taking the series?
So my heart was with Milwaukee because I was a Milwaukee resident for 3 years.
Okay.
But I wasn't a fool. I looked at the talent on the other side, with the Brooklyn Nets, and I was like, yeah, I don't see anyone beating this team, if healthy, in 7 games. So my heart was with Milwaukee, but everything else, I think my logic, experience, knew that Brooklyn was a much more complete team than the Bucks were.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause you right there. I'm gonna show this clip, and I'm gonna ask you that question again.
Okay.
As he goes up, Kumbo comes in, and he steps right on the foot. You can see the
Oh Lord.
So we all know, and first of all, I love Kyrie. Like, so Bucks all the way, baby. But if for whatever reason we don't make it, I'm definitely going with the Nets. What is your take on it now? But Harden is back, but Kyrie is out. What do you think now?
Well, Harden is back, but I think it was a forced position for him to come back. If you think about it, the Brooklyn Nets put all their eggs in one basket. They want to win this year. Okay, so I think they kind of forced Harden back, and I don't think he's 100%. I still think Milwaukee will take it in 7. A lot of it for the dramatics. They definitely want to make that money. But I think Milwaukee will win this series.
I mean, but Brooklyn is a larger marketing, city, for the NBA,
Yes.
more so than Bucks. And then the players they got about 5 All-Stars on that team.
Oh yeah.
And they just put them together like real quick.
But see, and that's the thing. That's the problem there, and that was a smart thing you said. It's like LA did the same thing. They dumped everybody and got LeBron. They knew they weren't going to the championships in that year.
Right.
That following year, when they did some more restructuring, that's when the progress began. And then you got a team like Bucks, who their team cohesiveness is just so much better than Brooklyn's and a lot of other teams, where those big names don't matter as long as people are playing their roles. What you think about that? Now, that's just,
I definitely agree.
I
think, I definitely agree. I'm a fan of teams that do things the right way. I've never been a fan of super teams.
Yeah.
Like the LeBron move, can't knock him for it because I know the pressure that's on him.
Yeah.
Constantly being compared to Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
The Golden State Warriors, I feel like they did things the right way before they got Kevin Durant. So they've already proven that they can win. Yeah. The Milwaukee Bucks, no major free agents. They got, I can't say that. Major trades. They got Drew Holiday. But
and PJ Tucker.
No knock on Drew Holiday because he's a dog. But he's not a tier 1, in the NBA. Some like Brook Lopez. They do a great job of player development. With Bryn Forbes, Chris Middleton, who I feel is like one of the most underrated. So they're doing things the right way. So I'm a fan of Milwaukee.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
So who is your team? Is Brooklyn who are you going with this season? Is it the Bucks?
That's a tough question. Let me see. So I don't want to feel like I'm dodging the question, but I've never had a team. I've had players. You know, I've had favorite players. I've never had favorite teams. I would just say I want to see a great series, and ultimately, I feel like people are so evenly matched at this point in the playoffs. It's anyone's game.
It's sure.
I would like to see, I would definitely like to see Paul George win one with the Clippers because I feel like he's kind of misunderstood. You know, Kawhi, I feel like he's a dog. But I'd also like to see a team like Utah, who I feel is also doing things the right way, developing their players. I'm not necessarily acquiring any big free agents or trades. I like to see teams that do it the right way, get a chance.
Right.
So kind of to follow up on that question, if you had to, you're a coach, you're choosing your top 5 starting players, past and present, who would those 5 players be? Your ideal team?
Ooh, that's a great question. Hold on one second. Let me see. Top 5. Okay, I'm sorry. We're having a little problem with the screen. Is it me? Like, can you all see me?
We still see you.
Okay. All right, my top 5. Well, is it positionless basketball, or do you want someone at each position?
You can put that in the position. You can put that in the position.
Okay.
Or you don't have to. It don't matter because it might be your favorite. You might see a player at in a particular position somewhere else.
Right. At the point guard spot, I have to go with J Kidd. Jason Kidd. That's a walking triple double.
We about to have an argument on this, right? We ain't even got started. Your point guard would be Jason Kidd.
Yes. Yeah, Jason Kidd. That's a walking triple double. Tell me what he can't do.
Yeah. But not Isaiah Thomas.
No, I'd go with J Kidd. I think Isaiah is definitely a legend, but I have to go with J Kidd.
Okay.
Too emotional for you there, Vic?
And you know what? And he did. I could see that because he was with the Nets. When he was with New Jersey, that was
most definitely. Well, it wasn't even with that. I think even what he did in college. College, Dallas, the Nets. I mean, J Kidd is just an all-around, point guard. Isaiah, in my opinion, was more defensive than offensive. J Kidd can kind of do it all. But it makes more sense with the rest of the starting 5 because with the athleticism I'm going to put around him, it's going to be crazy. So at the 2, Kobe Jelly Bean Bryant.
Yes.
Kobe Bean Bryant.
Yes.
Okay. At the 3, I'd have to go with Michael Jordan. I'm going to slide him over to the 3 spot.
Okay.
Okay. At the 4, See, I grew up in the time where the 4 spot was the ideal spot with Rasheed Wallace, Chris Webber, Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
But I'm going to play LeBron at the 4.
Brown, in his right spot.
I'm going to play LeBron at the 4 and give me Akeem Olajuwon at the 5.
That's a dope team. I feel the Jason Kidd, but that's a dope team. That's a dope squad right there.
Well, who would be your squad, Chris?
Shoot, I did the last 4 he picked for real. Point guard. I don't know. Maybe it got to be. I don't know. Maybe Stephen Curry.
Yeah, I mean you can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong. But I look at Jason Kidd, 6'5". You can't body him. Defensively he's on it. League leader in steals. Court vision is crazy. Developed a jump shot later on in his career, but he doesn't need to score because everybody else can.
Right.
He can definitely set everyone up. I mean, the point guard spot, man, we've had a ton of point guards. I could have thrown Ron Strickland in there. I could have thrown Chris Paul in there.
Yeah, Strickland. Chris Paul.
Strickland,
Ivo. Yeah, I forgot about Iverson.
Yeah, well, Iverson's not going to pass the ball as much, but
if
you want to see a show, if I'm trying to win a championship, I'm going to stick with my 5.
Yeah.
But we like to look at Iverson, so
let's do a quick game check-in. It's halftime now, brother.
Okay.
And the Bucks are leading 59-43.
Woo, go Bucks.
So we doing good. It's looking good. But
how's James Harden doing?
I don't know yet. I gotta get back to the TV to see. But he was looking at the first quarter, he he was still rusty. He didn't look like he wasn't wasting anything, like he had any kind of pains or anything, but he was still off. He had a turnover
Well,
too.
the hamstring, I'm sure is not 100%, but in this situation, they're probably forcing him to play.
That's exactly what it is. That's the same thing that just happened to Anthony Davis.
Oh yeah, Anthony
It's
Davis.
like, why are y'all forcing it right now?
That's what happened to Kevin Durant last year.
Yeah.
I mean, no, not last year. Was it last year? Yeah.
That was last year.
2 seasons ago. Yeah.
What do you?
This is a business.
How do you feel about Durant and him just like being okay with his ball spot coming in and just letting all show?
So, just being an athlete, you have some people that just care about the game and that's it. I think Durant is just he's a special breed. I don't think he worries about his brand as much as, other players should. He got his Nike money, don't get me wrong, but, he doesn't care, man. Durant is like, I'm here to bust your tail. I'm here to get buckets. He's not hurting for any females, as far as the physical appearance. So he doesn't care about the ball spot. I'd like to see LeBron let it go,
Yeah, most definitely. He won't. Definitely gonna do that.
But he's a brand, but Kevin Durant doesn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I rock with it. Who cares?
Yeah. I love it. Comfortable.
Yeah, he never claimed to be a pretty boy, so it is what it is.
And he's still gonna get the chicks, boo.
Of course.
Oh Lord.
So do you have a favorite team of all time, Victor?
Man, let me see.
And why?
That's great. Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you do.
First of all, let me.
I'll be thinking of it already for you.
Let me apologize. My favorite team of all times has to be that Chicago Bulls team in the mid-90s. From 91 to 98, with those 2 years in between when Houston won the championship.
Yep.
That team was unstoppable.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that was the epitome of playing your role.
Yeah.
It was the epitome of playing your role. There weren't no super teams. Everyone did exactly what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And leaders led. That's when you can see the value of a coach.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan, a lot of people knock him because they say he didn't make players around him better, but I think he propelled and he projected a lot of players' careers.
Yeah.
And gave them a little longevity. He made Will Perdue relevant, Bill Cartwright.
Yep.
Made him relevant. Dennis Rodman, he added to his legacy. Scottie Pippen helped him come into his own. Even a player like Steve Kerr, and Johnny Paxson, so
yeah,
those 90s
3-point wingman.
Yep, hands down.
Yeah.
The 90s Bulls. And then my second favorite team would be the Houston Rockets, of course, because my favorite player is Hakeem Olajuwon, being a Nigerian native, and kind of revolutionized the center position.
Hakeem the Dream, baby.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna forget about that Los Angeles team with Magic and Worthy and Kareem.
No, that was definitely a great team, but they weren't close to my heart because they weren't in the Midwest.
Okay. All right.
And I saw Mike kind of dog them. Well, not that exact team, but when I saw Mike dog the Lakers, I was like, yeah, this.
Oh yeah, it's at the end of that whole.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, he didn't get a prime Magic, so I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely get it.
Do you have a favorite player now and just of all time?
Man. Favorite player of all time, Kobe Bryant.
Rest in peace.
Favorite player.
Rest in peace, Kobe.
Yeah, most definitely. My favorite player, not of all times, but in many arguments will always be number one. Again, is Hakeem Olajuwon. Favorite player now, I respect LeBron, but I would pay to see, Kevin Durant, the Kyries, just the Giannis is just 6'11", 7 feet, just freakishly athletic. That's what I would pay to see. So
okay.
Durant, Giannis, Kyrie, and that boy John Morant is coming up too.
Yeah, and that cat from the Hawks, Young.
Trey
Young, man.
Yeah, Trey's coming.
Yeah,
but he's more like pickup ball right now to me.
He facilitated the floor pretty good. That last series was an excellent display of his skill.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I definitely can't disagree with you. I just, yeah. Trey, I mean, Trey's a dog, don't get me wrong. But right now, he's just not in my top 5 of people that I pay to see.
All right. So having experienced so much in your life, having worked different jobs, having been involved in, you know, the professional world of sports, what is your advice to young people? Because a lot of young people, especially young Black males, that's kind of their dream, their hope, and only aspiration in some cases. They don't see anything else. What would be your advice to them?
Well, my 3 pieces of advice: first and foremost, guard your image or guard your reputation. You know, for another, don't think about yourself, but always think about those coming behind you. And the last thing I would say is, if you know you haven't put the work in, don't expect to get the results. You know, that you can only be true to yourself. Like, you know how many hours you dedicate to your craft. You know, don't expect to get those results, because I believe it's there's a direct correlation.
Yeah. So we're going to get ready to get out of here, Vic. We really appreciate your time. Any last things you want to say? Any shout outs? Anything you want to plug? Anything at all?
I really can't, right now, I mean, kind of put me on the spot, really never really thought about it. I don't know how wide this spans, but, kudos to you all. I think I'm a fan of anything positive. This was comfortable, it was positive. I could talk sports all day, so I appreciate you all having me on there. Hopefully this is not my last time, but, just shout out to anybody that's doing the work. Right now, I'm just focused on doing the work. Whatever you say you want, does a work ethic match up with, with your dreams? And that's all I can say. There are no shortcuts, so do the work.
Do the work.
That's most definitely true, brother. We appreciate the conversation with you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
I heard it here first. Do the work. So we'll see you, Vic. We'll get you back on. Thank you, brother. Right. I appreciate you so much. You take care.
All right. Thank you.
All right, brother.
Peace out. Oh, Bucks, baby.
Oh, Bucks.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. All right, Vic.
All right.